Let's look at combined operations on integers in which we need to remember Bidmas. Bidmas helps us to remember the correct order in which we should perform the various operations. So if I look at this example here, 6 plus 5 times 10. Remembering from Bidmas the order that I do my operations. I go brackets, then indices, then division and multiplication. If you like, division and multiplication are equal. You work from left to right, so you do the thing on the left first. And finally, addition and subtraction, which are also equal, working left to right. So let's look at this example. Bidmas tells me that the order that I must do things is I don't do the addition because the multiplication comes first. So this is what I need to do first. So I say 6 plus 50 because 5 times 10 is 50 and 6 plus 50 gives me 56. Let's look at the second example I've got here. Negative 81 divided by negative 9 plus 11 times negative 2. Okay, according to Bidmas, brackets first. So in my brackets I've got negative 81 divided by negative 9. I forget the signs. How many 9s in 81? The answer is 9. And a negative gives me positive. So what I've done, if you like, the answer to this bit is 9. So that's what I do first. I write the rest of it down. Now I've got 9 plus 11 times negative 2. I must do this first. I must do my multiplication first. So I have 9, and if I do the pink bit first, I've got 11 times 2, which is 22, and a positive and a negative is a negative. So the pink bit, according to Bidmas, came second and gave me that. Now I've simply got 9 subtract 22, which is negative 13. So it's really important that I do things in the correct order. A couple more examples. I'll write this next example out. Okay. So what do I do first? Well, I'll write down my Bidmas again. There's no brackets, there's no indices. There's division and multiplication. And there's addition. So what do I do first? Well, I mentioned earlier division and multiplication are the same. And which one do you do first? You work from left to right. So I'm going to do this first because it is the furthest on the left. So 54 divided by negative 6. Well, I forget the signs and I say how many 6s in 54? The answer is 9. And I've got a positive divided by a negative. Remember, positive divided by a negative gives me a negative. So the green bit, if you like, becomes that. I then write down the rest. Haven't done anything to that, just write it down. Now what do I do next? Well, I've got an addition, a multiplication and a division. So actually do the multiplication first. So this is what I do first. Because multiplication and division becomes before our addition. And which one do I do out of the multiplication and division? I do the one furthest to the left, working left to right. So I just copy down my negative 9. Now I'm doing the thing in pink. 9 8s are 72, and a positive and a negative is a negative. And then I'm just writing down the negative 4, of which I've done nothing with that yet. So the pink bit becomes that. Now what do I do? I've got this operation, and I've got a division. Well, division becomes before subtraction. So I need to do the division first. So I'm doing this first. So I just write down my negative 9. Now I say how many 4s are in 72? The answer to that is 18. And I have a negative and a negative. Remember, a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. So the blue bit has become, whoa, and that's not blue, sorry. The blue bit has become that. And now I've just got negative 9 plus 18. So remember, I start at negative 9 on my number line. I add 18, so I'm going to the right. How many am I going to the right? I'm going 18 to the right, so I end up with 9. Sorry about that. End up with 9. Okay, next example. Negative 8 divided by 2 plus negative 2 cubed. Alright, Bidmas, brackets first. And this bracket has an indices, so obviously I do this first. So I've got negative 8 divided by 2, and I'm adding negative 2 cubed. Now remember, negative 2 cubed means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and a negative is a positive, times by another negative is a negative. So that is negative 8. So in other words, this becomes negative 8. Now, I've got an addition here and a division. So according to my Bidmas, I do my division first. So I do my division next. So this is what I'm going to do next. So I say, how many 2's are in 8? The answer to that is 4. And I have a negative divided by a positive, which gives me a negative. So the green bit we've done first, and that's become that. And then we add negative 8. So going back to what we learnt in the first video of adding and subtracting integers. This is where I start on my number line. I start at negative 4. This tells me which way I move. I move to the left. How many do I move to the left? I move 8 to the left. So starting at negative 4, moving 8 to the left gives me negative 12. With these, just do one little thing at a time, one step at a time. On each line of working, you just do one step. And how do you know what step to do? Bidmas guides us in what order we should do it.